sorry.
That's okay. In Pioneer Woods Counseling Association, we all hold memberships in that. There are 2 that hold membership in Texas Counseling Association. And so we can hold other affiliations if we wanted to, but those are the 2 that we have right now.
Okay.
Do you keep up with the legislative issues dealing with your area? And are there any current legislative agenda items for the specialty that will have or have had significant changes to your area?
Well, a lot of the legislative issues that go through right now are those in terms of collecting money, and they just passed recently that LPCs can go through Medicaid and Medicare to get money, but that doesn't really affect us. Student fees pay for us, and all of our services are free, and so there's not anything that affects us. More university policy, if that were to change, would affect us more than any legislative change. Of course, we have policies separate from universities here because we have to.
What are current trends in research for this area of counseling?
In research, I'm not sure. To be honest with you, I'm not sure what's going on. I know that there's a lot of information about mental health because that has blown up.
So the prevalence of serious mental health.
Because either they don't recognize it before they're in their 20s.
When you speak of mental health, are you talking about personality disorders? Are you talking about
bipolar,
schizophrenia?
I did have a client who was schizophrenic.
Schizoaffective?
Whatever you can think of that they're coming up with, it's a matter of whether or not we can actually work with them,
right,
or if we have to refer them out. There's some we're not psychiatrists,
right,
and we don't prescribe meds.
Right.
Now we do work with a health center that if it looks like they might benefit from medication, or if they have family members from medication, we work with the health center and they can provide them antidepressants and things of that nature. But if they're not interested in that, we can try to work with them, and sometimes it works and sometimes it doesn't. And so we have to
you're talking about there's a more prevalent rate of people with higher levels of psychological disorders.
Yes. A lot more depression. And the depression is paramount.
Do you think it's a lot because they're just more aware of it, because of just kind of a national concern that it's not as taboo to be depressed as it once was?
Well, and it's not as taboo to go to counseling anymore either. That some people come in and I don't know what's wrong with me. This is what's going on, and I don't know what that means. And if the family isn't open about it, then they have no idea that in their family, somebody else is depressed, and whether genetics is going to play a part in it or not. And so we talk to them about that, and so they just know something's not right, but they don't know what it is. Or they come in and say, my mom's on meds, my dad's on meds, and so is my sister. Okay, let's talk about this. What are they?
I be on meds?
What are they on meds for? What do you think you have? And actually, we use a lot of the one-page handouts from the Burke Center that we give them. Read this. Does this sound like you?
Right.
Do you meet any of these? Let's talk about that. So, and then other than that, just doing a lot of preparation, I guess, for potentially violent students, considering what's happened with Virginia Tech and Northern Illinois, and all the shootings are going on. It's like, okay, well, let's talk about these students and who needs to know about these students and what can we do. So we've got crisis teams and bit teams and all the different teams that we have on campus that are going to help identify these students and then see what they need, how can we help them, and can they stay on campus. Because sometimes they're stable enough to stay on campus, and sometimes they're not, and it puts a lot of other students in danger. So it's like, well, we need to take care of that situation too.
All right, I believe that's all the questions that we have. Thank you for taking time out. It's Monday, the first Monday after spring break. Thank you very, very much for meeting with us. Okay?
No problem. If you guys think of any other questions, you can email me or call me.
Will do. Thanks.
Thank you.
You're welcome.